So, Haase, we go to Cairo now. So, Hassam, it's your turn.
Everyone, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, I will share my screen. So, one moment. Today, I'm presenting my thesis, Emancipating Informality, Empower People towards socio-economic well-being. So, first, I will start with the question, what is informality? So, informality is a global phenomenon generally
Sorry, Hassam, could you go to full screen if it's not a problem?
Yeah, sorry. Informality is a global phenomenon that generally caused by the disability of top-down policies and efficiency of rules and regulations in the developed countries. And of course, Egypt is no exception. Informal development had been and continues to be the dominant mode of urbanization, especially in Greater Cairo. So, yet the words like chaotic, overcrowded, disorganized, dirty, and so on are quick to apply by observers, policymakers, professionals, as well as Egyptians. So addressing architecture of informality become a challenging issue to go beyond the stereotypical generalization that are easy to apply without a realization of its potential. Basically, my focus was in socioeconomic problems associated with informality, and this is linked to the effect of neoliberalism and the dysfunctional political system. As a result of this, public services such as education, sanitation, water are regarded as a commercial commodities. So the city government doesn't take the urban poor into account, and often they ignore the informal dwellers by excluding them from the city and its plans. So these areas and their dwellers become trapped and marginalized in this poor environment, and also they face political inequality and social exclusion. So my research is aiming to go beyond the immediate needs and address the core and the larger issues with informality while addressing the potential of the status quo. We can call it a different level of engagement with informality, and also questioning the role of the architect in the self-organized communities. So first is where I chose the place in Mu'tamdiyya village. This place I used to live there for 1 year in Cairo. I'm originally from the Delta. I moved there as a typical Egyptian young man who seeking new opportunities in the main in the capital in Cairo. So just I give you an idea about the map of Greater Cairo because it needs some explanation. Greater Cairo consists of 3 main governorates. Cairo, Calliopeia, and Giza. And here is the border line of Greater Cairo, which is the 3 governorates combined together in the main area here. And this is the line of the ring road. You can see here clearly the desert, which is all consists of the new towns here and here. And around the ring road, you can find all the villages that grown later on to be informal areas. And we can call it very urban Greater Cairo. So just to give you an idea. More of the context of the overview of the historical events and its relation to the informality. Basically, in Cairo before the 1952 revolution, the urban mass concentrated on the historical part, and on the other hand, and all like it's accommodating the ordinary Egyptians. And this downtown area, which is all the French style that hosted most of the rich and upper class and the monarchy, of course. So after the revolution, with the social agenda and the new towns, Cairo become a big attraction for rural migration. So those people moved to Cairo, cannot find a place to stay. It's cheap, affordable. So they a bit since 1960, the informal area emerged on the peripheries. They kind of save the money and build on the agricultural lands. and so on. So and the state and the government couldn't afford or couldn't give more accommodation to these people, and they also go to another direction, which is building new towns to attract people from Cairo, but this doesn't work. But yeah, since then the events repeating itself. The government tried to expand in the desert. It failed to attract the majority, and informality grew, and so on. And in any exchange of power, the same thing happened again and again until today. So my site here in Mu'tamdiyah, here in the peripheries, this map is quite old. You can see here the old formation of informal areas. Here in Muhandisin is a some of subsidized housing project, and here is the Tahrir Square, where the downtown area, Zamalek and Old Cairo, the historical part. So just you can see the layers of the Cairo development in this map. The site selection is this is the map of Al-Mu'tamdiyah and Barak al-Khayyam. It's all this and all the villages. It's the center was here, and my site is here, like attached to the ring road. So I want to give you an idea about the development of this settlement. It started, as I say, like until 1950s, it owned by the feudal system under the monarchy, and also it developed on the subdivision of agricultural lands, and the irrigation system, the water basins, and the irrigation system used to be the main road and streets. It has an organic form and mud brick buildings, and you can see here in the map. This is the center of the village, and then this map shows the early 1960 until 1970, which is the urban mass continue to dominate in this around the village. You cannot see here the ring road because it made afterwards, and here you can see the buildings become 3 to 4 stories building with reinforced concrete and red bricks, and also 100% coverage. Until today, here the urban mass grow to this size and also try to attach to the city. Also, you can see here this as the ability to construct more buildings and more stable buildings, they become an industry, like contractors, informal contractors can build one of towers, which is extend to 250 and 450 square meters as a larger apartments to provide accommodation for the poor. So the urban condition here is basically have some features like they keep always vertical extensions for further expansion, connected roof, all the roofs connected together, and completeness, one of the most dominating features in this environment. The shared walls, of course, the Bayesian towers and improvised structures, unfinished facade, limited openings, and different building heights. Also, they have the urban have some condition like street markets all over and in between agricultural lands. So incompleteness and improvised structures are one of the main points that I will focus later on in my design process. I will go to the site analysis. Here is the site. It's all here the ring road, and this is the approach to the main informal settlements. Here the built environment. Can you see here the structure of the ring road, which is like 20 meters high? We have here the urban mass that clearly follows the pattern of the agricultural land, and the towers, electrical towers all over the place. Here is the natural structure. You can see here the land subdivision. Here the edge condition is quite important because the ring road are made mainly to connect some important parts of Cairo, and so this ramp that come afterwards by the efforts of the families of this area, or the people in this area. So it was not intentionally from the beginning to make ramps and connection to these settlements. Of course, it made to segregate them or not access them to this area. So still, it's a quite interesting case to look at the edge condition in this area. The road and transportation system in here, you can see the main access, of course, will be from here. This is in Matamdia Street, and it's have the tunnel connected to other to the Ard Lower informal settlement. Here on the ring road, you have the bus and transportation system to connect to other parts. And here the tuk-tuks and microbuses that bring people from all settlements to this area. So who, and I try to understand who from the point that formality as a forces and actors who involved there. So first, I will talk about the state. The political system in the last 70 years can be described as an autocracy under a military base. First, there is no intervention in the informal settlements, and later on, they try to implement the top-down policies like a building program, putting more rules and regulation to stop informal expansion. But of course, all this couldn't work. So also want to highlight the localities or the decentralization policies, which is an successful model in many countries. But in case of Cairo and Egypt in general, this place become the center of corruption and waste of public money. So basically, the government official, they are corrupt. They cannot meet the needs of the people. So this actually caused the syndrome of powerlessness, which has been demonstrated again and again, that the people who live there are effectively trapped in the subculture of poverty, and it prevents an effective participation in the society major institution. So they have no power in the political arena, they have no voice. In short, the informality and poverty are the syndromes that hinge on the different sides of informality, of powerlessness. So the second thing is the of who is the private providers like the NGO, charities, international organization, and I want to highlight the GIZ, the German Technical Corporation. It's one of the first initiatives and most amazing initiatives in planning and participatory planning in Egypt. They've done tons of work until today. But I want to highlight the model that used by the GIZ here. It's basically based on the promote participation on the local level, that urging collaboration of all stakeholders. But the issue of this model cannot classify as a sustainable model, because when the government are used to facilitate and mobilize the process. So again, it come to be a top-down decision and centralized decision. So because once the facilitator of the PP disappears, the system will not function quite well. And one study finds that the process didn't continue after the GIZ left these areas after working for more than 10 years. So people reported that they don't feel empowered. So for the inhabitants, any informal area is likely to contain the mix of wide range of incomes. So we can find typical breadwinners, low-ranking employees, professionals, engineers, merchants, contractors, teachers, alongside with some extreme hardship cases who live on daily wages. So the target group here is to contain a wide range of inhabitants. And basically, life is not always bad. Like, these settlements succeeded to attract more people. It simply creates an urban quality in which modernism couldn't achieve, like self-sufficiency, workability, social interaction, lively street, community building, participation, security, and natural surveillance. So, and I tried to extract some of the patterns that already exist in the informal areas to use them later on in the design process, like workspace extension, recycling man, Rubabikia. Basically, this guy who buy all things from all over the settlement and then sell it again with a very cheap prices. Street vendors, street food as a communal eating practice, street cafe as social space, scattered work. So, and this is mainly like a combine of many things, like tuk-tuks everywhere, street as a marketplace, all this kind of existing activity and patterns that giving quality to this settlements. And here's the links between the actors. As you can see here, the state, which is produce localities, syndrome of powerlessness, and top-down policies, and how it conflict and adding mistrust to these inhabitants. But the inhabitants, they have the power of natural leaders, but they also have a lack of services, and also they produce the informal system, and hold the NGOs with the participatory model, and they work with inhabitants with a bottom-up policy, but they have weak impact. So I will use this also later on in the activity diagram. So how to emancipate informality? So the first question is how to break the syndrome of powerlessness. So I figure out that empowerment is the key for social change. So empowerment of the marginalized group is a must. So this will ensure the continuation of the participation process. This will require a structural transformation of economic and political relations towards a democratic society in an autocratic state. So a new political imaginary. So can you imagine that you try to make some kind of teaching them how to be empowered in undemocratic society or autocratic society? So once this achieved, the actors and stakeholders will be active players in the planning process. So I also found the mechanism for this is to study the rules of social movement, because they have an important impact on the individuals. Autonomy and self-confidence, and acting individually and collectively to change, can contribute to social empowerment by improving their skills, knowledge, and self-perception, and help to organize their economic activity, such as economic cooperation, support group, something like this. So this is a very efficient way to organize, or the mechanism to organize society. So the next point is how could this informal society achieve an effective community organization? Of course, the participatory planning is a very efficient, but in this case, I used a study conducted a new model that named the intelligent participatory model, this one, which is made as a platform prototype concept especially made for the Egyptian informal settlements. That started first.
So Andrea wants to say something, just for a second.
No, I don't.
No, your hand is raised. That's why I
tried to get rid of it. It doesn't work.
Okay.
I've tried.
I will do it.
I'm fine.
It's okay.
I can do it as a moderator. Sorry, Haase, go on.
Okay. So in this model, the first step is to initiate the space and place of assembly, where people will come together and share democracy. So before being active in the participatory model, they have to teach them how to participate first, and linking them to their systems. So this is even more necessary. So how to translate this in challenging context of informality? So of course, the patterns, the end of the research part was the activity diagram and the patterns. So, but I used the pattern as a starting point for in this design stage. So, and inspired by Christopher Alexander in the pattern language, he offers a new approach to architecture and planning. So, using patterns helped me to understand and break down the complexity of informal system, and try to invent again new patterns that we use to add more qualities to the society. So Alexander argues that language is more explicit, practical, and easy to understand, and more important, it enables people to active in the participating and developing the environment. So here the patterns I used, some are the global patterns that can be applied anywhere, which is the one I introduced. New ones and new patterns that respond to informality, and existing patterns that already exist in the place. So the structure here, all those patterns will form a new program that respond to informality, which will be the multi-service center. So this combining all those patterns will function collectively in an organized manner in a form of a social movement with a general function of a multi-service center. So here you can find the bigger ones like free exhibition, and this larger patterns will be achieved when the smaller patterns reach it. So it's all interconnected. We have the bigger and the smaller ones. and they all depend on each other. So once we achieve many of the smaller buttons, we can achieve the quality of the bigger buttons. And each of this button contains many activity in it, like free expression needs to assemble, demonstrate, argue, debate, talk, participate, educate, all those kind. And of course, also community meetings, town hall meetings, natural leaders, serving community, small services, intelligent PP model, and barbershop policies, feeling free to be in the space. And I will explain it more in the next slides. So I just want to question the position of architects in this self-organized communities, and I will quote from Abd al-Halim Ibrahim, a prominent Egyptian architect, Aga Khan winner. He argues that the role of the architect in the self-organized communities is to decode the complex system that already exists in order to resolve the patterns of a community and develop other to achieve justice and equality to the physical and social reality in informal areas. So this is basically what I did in the next design process. So the architect is concerned more about the vision, not about creating rigid architecture. So here is combining some of the patterns here more. I talk about the free expression and empowering people, and contains some of the smaller patterns to achieve this quality. So first, I start with this is the vision. I'll start with the arena place. The arena place will be the first step in teaching the inhabitants how to be active in a participation process, and to have the voice and a political arena to discuss in a collective space. So, and here is the second thing, empowering people with a free expression. And basically here the concept is to eliminate the border condition. According to Richard Sennett, on the edge condition, the boundary is the edge where things end, but the border is an edge where different groups interact. So it's interesting to see this case in this, because if you want to make people easy with the space, you have to feel they own the space. So informal and open system tend to create this border condition, and I use this idea by mimicking the informal system and create on the ground floor of the site an informal open marketplace that can be used as a marketplace and also can be used as different functions later as they need or they propose. So basically extend all the economic activity on the street inside this space. So basically they feel more easy dealing with this idea. So surrounding by the community project, this is the third part of the patterns combining together. He is more associated with the private providers who will start to manage first the community project and teach them how to be empowered, and then they can control, the people can have control over the place. Of course, this surrounding community project will be act as a castle, or they surround the whole arena. The arena place will be a big courtyard inside all this area. This next point is I just want to highlight that the buildings, the community projects will grow vertically because the vertical extension are more appropriate in this area because there's land scarcity and all this kind of things. So here is to basically reformulate the distinctive feature of informality. So mimicking the informal and open system by designing this framework in which that improvised method will be grown in it later on as per their needs and resources will be available. So the framework will be designed according to their funds and all this kind of stuff, and then the ad hoc system will be grown there. So ad hoc system is an excellent solution that will allow diversity and flexibility of that kind of expansion in the future. So I want to also highlight the daily struggle to access the public transportation, which is the center I wanted to be mediated by constructing this pedestrian bridge from the center of the multi-service center. So people can this ring road without the risk of being on the ring road, and also put a statement for them to the right of the city and right to use the public transportation, because as I mentioned in the beginning, the people start to make stairs here, which is really scary, and a lot of accidents happen because they want to access the top of the ring road to access public transportation. So the next point is to I basically collect some of the forms. Now I have the buttons that I can use in the design process, and now I used to design. I collect some of the forms and elements and fragments that already exist there in the local environment, featuring some of the feature like incompleteness, limited opening, ad hoc system, word structure, future expansion, and social staircase. Limited opening, I will invert this idea of limited opening to more an open kind of structures, and also introducing new forms that can be easily done, and also add some qualities to the spaces. So imagining, since we talk about the future, so imagining the future of informality, of course, I want to add this development in the next 30 years that should follow, of course, should follow a sequence, and the proposal is not rigid or inflexible. The purpose of this is to showcase how the future will look like. So basically, the community project I'm proposing here is it's an idea of how this community project will serve the community in the future socio-economic well-being. We have here the NGO charities headquarters, international organization, the GIZ Center, Mosque El Khair Charity, Egyptian Food Bank, Government Office for Financial Aid, and UN Habitat, and so on. So have medical aid, family and child welfare, financial and business, housing and tenants' rights, awareness rights. And I will show how this can work in the process. So here is the sequence. I think I have to move this. 2025 will have first introducing the marketplace as a place to attract the dwellers and inhabitants. Also introducing new spaces like this demonstration staircase and the arena place as the first place, as I discussed before. Also introducing new kind of structures like this tower is a landmark for the area, and also will be acting as a vertical circulation for many areas in this for many parts in this whole complex. We have also introducing new structures that this is the framework in which the ad hoc projects will be added up. So this all is made by the inhabitants, not by the architects. Maybe it could be by architects, by students, but it all improvised. It's adding up over the years. So this is year 2030. Of course, introducing the bridge with more of spaces, open spaces, also closed functional spaces. Here also introducing this staircase towers that will be in between the towers. So I managed to make a complex of towers together that connected with this staircase. The staircase become in itself a social space, a gathering space, an informal meeting spaces. So also you can see here the expansion of the normal typical informal structures in the site. Here at also introducing this new spaces, more of the structure, and then ad hoc project added more bridges connect all these parts together. So here is the last slide. 2050 is the main image of the whole project. So here is the multi-service center, and then I show you realization of. I try to show how will we look like with all and actions for an informal, improvised method that come together with the old framework. So this is also this tower, a place where they can send messages, put their opinion on it by this signs. And also the staircase is always used within the main busy street as a place for demonstration. Here's another image showing the bridge, the tower, all the structures. Also, it's mainly inspired, as I explained before, by this vision towers, some of these structures that that added up this. Here's the layout. Is mainly showing the relationship with the buildings. You see here it's more attached to the existing structure, following the patterns of the main lands, but breaking the normal idea. So you can see here this is the north side. So we can see here it mainly take the inhabitants from this area to the main demonstration space. I want to show you the plans and all the organizational stuff inside. Here is the free walls of the ground floor, the marketplace. Yeah, you can see here. This is the idea, and here basically I introduced the patterns, the local patterns that I in the beginning, like communal eating, communal kitchen, open marketplace. Of course, the spaces can be used in many ways. With the free walls is more of a space to accommodate any kind of activity inside. So it could be marketplace or anything else. So here's the first floor. The first floor you can see here also connected the arena and this platform with other parts of the area. The highlighted circulation is basically all the informal meeting in between unspecified function spaces. Here you can see the also diagram of this. Here you can see this is the complex, staircase complex 1, staircase complex 2 in between. So it's all like a ground floor repeated again and again. Here are more of a close-up to the area. Wanna highlight this عيونك مثل الحكومة لا عدل لا رحمة لا مساواة is that your eyes is like the government, no justice, no mercy, and no equality. Yeah. So this is the third floor, is the same concept. Yeah. Highlighting the tower, the ramp tower is going up. Yeah, this is space, the arena space, just having this quality of gathering, demonstrating, discussing. Also with the tower is adding some quality, I guess. Here's another shot for this area. Here's one of the community projects that used the ad hoc system. It's basically like this. Some of the perspectives here you can see. So yeah, here at the ground floor, it's all like attracting everyone to come, like use the space in this kind of informal. So people will always feel that they own this place by adding this quality on the ground floor. So introducing this new kind of spaces in here. The same idea. Yeah. Here the fifth floor showing the bridge quality, and this and this section. Yeah, you can see here the bridge connected with the main tower, and also the quality from the bridge. It's basically adding up to the main ring road. This is the ring road, and you can see here people can use the spaces and wait and do all kind of stuff, and then take it to transportation as usual. Here's some shots from inside the bridge and inside the bridges in the community center. Also some elevations and sections. This is main elevation, main facade. And just at the end, I wanna wrap up the idea of this multi-service center is creating this loop of chain reactions of events. So for example, a problem will be introduced, then the people can gather and demonstrate to announce the problem to the public. So in the town meeting and discussion will be held in the arena. Then the work will be funded in a form of a community project to serve this specific purpose. So it will work to build this community project will build to add to build the data and use the existing informal network to in addition to its connection with the NGOs, international organization, and the government fund, so they can truly serve the people and their needs. And this the process will happen again and again. So it's always repeating itself to be more efficient. So this diagram can show this multiple problems happen, and here the center will act as a nucleus of a change in the community. So yeah, at the end, I wanna wrap up. The future of well-being in a formal settlement will be achievable when the people learn how to be part of the whole society and how to be organized empowered enough to break the loop of informality. So changing their future will happen by focusing more on building the human first before building the place. Thank you so much.